Hello and welcome to Laird Wellness Live. Jody Laird.
Hello, good evening.
Scott Laird. And we have some interesting information for you tonight, but I hope you had a good week. We had some very exciting stuff happen with all kinds of things we've learned about supplements, and we're going to be having a new supplement bundle for you very soon.
Yes.
And we wanted to talk all about supplements tonight because there are some secret supplement combos that you can do. We're not talking just about which supplements go together, but this is kind of a synergistic thing where 1 and 1 equals 3. So in other words, you don't just get the benefit of supplement A and supplement B and they equal supplement C. It's like A plus B equals supplement C squared. It creates this extra thing that you don't anticipate. And I learned this from a very controversial doctor. I won't mention his name, but he discovered something very interesting, and that's what we're going to reveal as our 8th thing tonight. We're going to reveal 8 things that you can do with supplements. It all depends on what supplements you pair together, but there's also some supplements that matter when you take them,
right?
Or how much you take them, and whether you take them with food or water and why. So we're going to cover all of these things tonight with some graphics, and hopefully you understand the graphics. Some of the stuff is pretty heady, but I like to really, bring things down to earth and explain things really easily.
And you know what I would like to know?
What's that?
I would like to know from the people who are watching tonight,
Mm-hmm.
what supplements do they take on a regular basis?
Oh, okay,
yeah,
that's good.
I'm just always curious about that.
Yeah, because we all have our core set of, some people may buy this and this and this. Like, quite honestly, we have a drawer back there full of like 20, 30 supplements.
For real.
And, because we own Laird Wellness, we're always trying to, we're the guinea pigs. So we try and do things on our own to see how they work and that kind of thing before we recommend them to people. So some of the things we have in that drawer we'll never carry because it's like, meh, they didn't do anything for us. And other ones are like, wow. And those wows are the ones that we have in our core group, right? Mm-hmm. So we have this core group of supplements. So tell us what your core supplements are. Are there 2 or 3 that you take all the time? Just put it in the chat. Tell us what they are because we're really curious. I'll bet a lot of people are taking the same things right now because certain supplements have been touted for what's going on in the world. And so, a lot of people are like, well, I'm going to do this, 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 and this, absolutely. And, everything else, just put it on the shelf for now because I want to be protected. And those things are valuable. And there's some other things that we take as well. Like, for example, we take magnesium at night every night. Right.
Well, y'all will think I'm crazy if I list mine, so I'm not even going to list them because it's ridiculous.
Yeah, you don't have 3 or 4. You have like
I do, but I'm just trying to stay. Just because the world we live in today doesn't give us everything we need from the food, even though we try our best to eat as many vegetables and everything as possible, we're still not getting what we need.
Well, and that's what a supplement is. It supplements what you are already doing. Remember that supplement isn't the magic bullet, because that's why they call them supplements. A supplement is something extra. It's sort of like an appendix at the end of a book. Right? It's just a little piece of information at the end that's related to the book, but it's not like absolutely crucial. What's absolutely crucial is your diet. Okay, so if that's one thing we've learned in the last 18 months because of what, it's to look after yourself.
Right.
Because if you don't look after yourself, some things that are floating around in the air, and it's not just this thing, there's other things that float around in the air too that come around every year. And sometimes if you're not prepared, wham, that can hit you like a ton of bricks and you don't know what happened because your body wasn't ready for it. And that's because we keep our immune system busy with other things, and we can't do that. We basically, it's like having an army with wars all over the world. Like you look at the U.S. Army. If they have little wars going on all over the world, we can't adequately protect our own country, right? So this is
you're going to wear yourself thin.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. Right. So you're going to wear yourself thin. So you can't have your immune system busy fighting fires all over your body. You need to just give it as least the amount of worries so that when something big does come along, it can attack it. Right?
Right.
So that's what it's all about, is empowering your immune system. And some things this is just sort of an aside. We're not even going to talk about this tonight, but I'm going to mention that, when you eat cooked food, that actually your body calls on the immune system because, long story short, cooked food does not have living enzymes. Living enzymes digest the food themselves, so that doesn't require your body's help.
Right.
But when you eat cooked food, those enzymes are dead because you cooked the food and basically destroyed the enzymes. So now you're relying on your pancreas to take care of all of it. So if you're relying on your pancreas to take care of all of it, think of it as friction, where your body's working and working and working. Now all of a sudden you've got inflammation happening in your pancreas. Ever heard of pancreatitis? A lifetime of cooked food and not eating the proper foods can cause too much work on your pancreas. So in order to bring down the fire in your pancreas, that will now alert the immune system. Right. So your immune system is now taking care of the pancreas, make sure the organs are okay. And in the meantime, say there's a virus floating around or some kind of bacteria or some other thing like a cough or a cold or something. Right? What's that?
Just say there is.
Yeah, let's say there is. And then now your immune system's preoccupied. You can see where we're going with this. You can't have your body preoccupied with fighting fires all the time. You've got to eat properly. You've got to get exercise. All the basic things we know to do. Stay away from fried foods. Stay away from junk. Stay away from sugar. Drink a lot of water, right? All this basic stuff. By the way, we teach that kind of stuff in our Biologic Blueprint program. We're looking to start again. So if you have been interested in this program and you wanted to start it, we weren't even going to mention that tonight, but go to lairdwellness.com/blueprint. Okay, lairdwellness.com/blueprint, and you can join our Blueprint program. Or even just talk about it. You don't have to join it just yet. Right. We'd like to talk to you about it. And by the way, I put something on my Facebook page earlier this week, and I just want to reiterate it here. I don't have a little thing at the bottom of the screen or anything, but if you can just remember this, if you want us to touch on touchy subjects that may not make it on certain social media channels, and you want us to be able to speak freely into your life with some what I called freedom-loving health topics. And it's not what you think. And we're not going to talk about that all the time, but you never know what's going to get censored these days. So you want to be able to speak freely about anything and not just what's going on right now, if you know what I mean. So if you want to hear those type of topics, we want you to subscribe and show us that you want this. Go to lairdwellness.com/rumble. lairdwellness.com/rumble. That will take you to our Rumble page. And just subscribe there, and we'll know that, hey, if you're interested, we'll put the topics up there, okay?
Yeah.
That we're just starting this. We don't know where we're going to go with it, but if you want to hear it, we'll do it. Okay, so let's get to our topic at hand tonight. So let's talk about these magical supplement combinations, okay? These secret supplement combinations. And it's not hard. You may be doing it already, and you'll be going, I didn't know it did that.
Right.
So let's hear some interesting things. First of all, here's something we have taught before. This is the water-soluble versus fat-soluble vitamins. So certain vitamins work better just with no food. Those are the water-soluble vitamins. And fat-soluble vitamins are the ones that get stored in your body. The water-soluble ones, your body uses what it needs and gets rid of every day. That's why you need more and more of them. And I'll show you which ones they are in a second. The fat-soluble ones stay in your body, and they are better taken in with food. Just to make it really simple, they kind of hitch a ride on the fats in your food and go into your body a lot better and stay in your body a lot better. So here are those vitamins. So the fat-soluble vitamins are A, D, E, and K. Remember my acronym about what do you stain a deck with? Oil stain, and it's a deck, right? A, D, E, K. That's where we get this from. And then the water-soluble vitamins are basically all of the B vitamins and vitamin C. Vitamin H at the bottom right there, to be honest, I'm not sure what that is. Vitamin F, that's not on here even, but that is that's essential fatty acids. That's what that's all about. So anyway, so there are your water-soluble vitamins and your fat-soluble vitamins. Water-soluble vitamins, take them with no food, just with water. That's an easy way to remember it, right? So all the B's and the C's, you can take those with water. Fat-soluble vitamins, better to take them with food. All right, so that is one thing we wanted to teach you tonight. Now, there's another, regarding the B vitamins, quite often people have this MTHFR 5 gene mutation. One person who took our Biologic Blueprint program actually had that. And lots of people have it. 30% of people have this gene mutation, they don't even know it. And that gene mutation can cause you to not properly metabolize your B vitamins, and there's all kinds of problems that can result. So what the supplement companies have done is they've created this methylation procedure. And what that does is it takes vitamins you would normally take in just, like the old school vitamins, and they methylate them. What methylate means is to turn them into a form that your body can already use. Because the old school vitamins, your body has to methylate them itself in order to make them into a form that you can use.
Right.
And certain people just, their body can't do that. And that causes all kinds of detox problems, keeps your homocysteine high, which is not good, all kinds of stuff. And I'll show you the benefits of having methylated vitamins in a second here. So the methylation will do this. Now, the way you look for methylated vitamins is you look on the back, and it will say methylcobalamin, for example, for B12, or for, it'll say methylfolate or something to that effect for folate. So the B vitamins that were, again, let's take a look at the B vitamins here. So the B vitamins that are methylated, so it'll be methylated B5, methylated pantothenic acid, methyl B12, methylated folic.
So let me just ask you, if you do not have that gene, the MTHR5, HFR, is it still totally good and even more beneficial if you have methylated vitamins?
Yes.
Will you still make them more bioavailable?
Yeah, because you're like the analogy we had with the putting out the fire in the pancreas. It's it's reducing another potential fire in your body. So it's the less you have to make your body work, the better.
So always look for methylated.
Right.
And the companies know that, and if they are spending money on doing that with their vitamins, they're actually putting more value into their vitamins.
That's right. And you'll notice that those are typically a little bit more expensive. I mean, it's kind of nominal, the amount, the difference. And the easy way to tell that the company is doing all it can with that methylation is you turn it around, look at B12s, just scroll down to B12 on the back of the label and look for methylcobalamin. If you see methylcobalamin, you can pretty much bet that the rest are methylated as well. All right, so here is what methylated vitamins do. They will turn on and off genes. Very important for gene regulation. This is important for cancer and many other things. It will process chemicals and toxins, helping you reduce your toxic load. So there we go with the detox that I mentioned. It builds neurotransmitters, dopamine, serotonin, epinephrine. By the way, those are built in your gut. Remember, people think they happen in your brain. They go to your brain, but they're built in your gut.
And that's why your gut is called your second brain.
There you go. Processes and metabolizes hormones. Very important. It builds immune cells like T cells and NK cells. These are the natural killer cells, right? Synthesis of DNA and RNA. We're hearing a lot about RNA lately.
Yes, we are.
Again, very important for that. Produce energy. The CoQ10, which you've heard, ATP. ATP is the energy built in your mitochondria, which is the little energy factory in every cell in your body. So you can see how important this is, and it even produces protective coating on your nerves. This is the myelin sheath is what it's called, or myelination. You see at the bottom of the screen there. So this is why B vitamins are extremely important. This is why you want to have, methylated B vitamins. So that's your secret combination there. Get methylated vitamins. So that's what you want. All right, so another important combination is D3K2. So you've heard a lot about this. So vitamin D3 is what you get from the sun, right? It reacts with the cholesterol on your skin, eventually soaks in and gives your body vitamin D through a process we won't explain right now. Or you can take it through a supplement. Supplementation of vitamin D3 is extremely important. There are D3 receptors all over your body, especially on your lung cells and many other cells of your body. There's more D3 receptors in certain parts of your body, and they typically are more abundant in those in the vital organs, and so especially the lungs. And so that's why with currently what's happening in the world, you're hearing a lot about D3 because it's extremely important to protect your lungs. So vitamin D3 can help your immune system, again, reduce the load that it is dealing with and make things easier for you. So that's why vitamin D3 is very important. Now, why K2? Why is K2 paired with D3? Because when there's a lot of D3 in your body, it releases more calcium. It's called cholecalciferol. Cholecalciferol. So that should ring a bell because D3, we just mentioned cholesterol, right? C-O-L-E, cholesterol, cholecalciferol. So cholesterol and calcium are all intertwined with vitamin D3 without getting into specifics. So basically it increases the amount, basically the way I explain it is a calcium cloud in your body. And that calcium cloud can kind of just go anywhere without any direction from another vitamin that kind of tells it where to go. So some of it will actually end up in your arteries, giving you calcified arteries eventually. It will go in your joints, in your muscles and make you sore and that kind of thing. So what we have is vitamin K2. And there's two types of K2. There's MK4 and MK7. All that means is that MK4 has a half-life much shorter than MK7. So MK4 will work right away to take some of that D3 and transport it where it needs to be. And MK7 kind of stays behind and cleans up the mess and lasts a lot longer. So it actually puts it where it belongs, out of the arteries and into the bone. So let me show you how that happens here. So with Arterial Health on the left there, hardening of the arteries happens with a lack of vitamin K that you see at the bottom of the page, kind of to the center there. Calcium deposition in the arteries, and that makes your arteries more stiff and hard, and that's not what we want. We want supple arteries into our old age. That's what we want. And with sufficient vitamin K on the far left, you'll see that there's no calcium deposits. Arteries are more elastic and soft. That's what we want. Now move over to the right side here. And in addition to keeping calcium out of the arteries, it pushes it into the bones. So basically, vitamin K2 is like a taxi that takes vitamin D3 and puts it where it belongs, into the bones. And so you'll see that on the left side, those a very dense honeycomb, that's good bones. And on the right side, you don't have enough vitamin D3 with K2 to put it where it belongs. And at the bottom, there you see the result. You will get either brittle bones and calcified arteries, or if you have vitamin D3 with K2, you'll result with healthy bones and healthy arteries. So I think the choice is kind of obvious that you want to have K2 with D3, especially if you're doing a lot of it. And a lot of people, including ourselves, are doing a lot of vitamin D3 right now.
Right.
It is the most important vitamin right now for what is in the headlines.
Right.
All right, so liposomal. What is a liposomal vitamin C? You've heard us talk about that. So remember how we talked about fat-soluble and water-soluble vitamins? So oil and water don't mix, right?
Right.
Okay, so your body is basically a water system. It's like water pipes. Mm-hmm. But your cells are covered in a fat membrane. Thank you, a fat membrane. So basically, water-soluble vitamins are going to have kind of a hard time getting in there. There's there's these like protein channels that they can go through, including vitamin C, that will get some of the vitamin C in there. But somebody discovered that if you can take liposomes, lipo meaning fat, right, like liposuction. So liposomes, you treat vitamin C with liposomes, and it basically wraps a microscopic layer, a membrane around the vitamin C. Mm-hmm. And what that does is it almost creates this like science fiction portal where, since the fat membrane on the outside of the cell sees the fat membrane of the vitamin C, it lets it in. Because it's similar. It kind of sucks it up. It literally does. Oil. If you see here, let's show you what this looks like. Well, no, I don't have that kind of graphic. But anyway, it literally does. It's oil with oil. Instead of being oil and water, not mixing, it's the oil. It's friendly to the cell. The cell allows it right in. So you get lots more vitamin C when it's liposomal. Okay, so here's how this works. So you look on the left, traditional supplements, vitamin C in this case, water-soluble supplements. Very little of the nutrient reaches the cell, as you see in the center of the screen there. And at the bottom we read, supplements likely to degrade in the digestive system. That's another problem. But on the right, if we have liposomal encapsulated supplements, right? So we have this liposomal membrane, this liposome membrane around the vitamin, a lot more gets absorbed into the cell. So it goes directly to the targeted cells. There's no waste. Whereas on the left, a lot of the nutrients are wasted because they didn't make it into the cells. So the body goes, well, you didn't make it in. Too bad. Away you go.
Right.
And you flush them down the toilet. But at the bottom right there, you will see that a supplement passes through the digestive system when it is encapsulated with liposomes. And you get a lot more into the cells and less into the toilet, which is what we want, because otherwise you're just literally flushing your vitamins down the drain, right?
Right.
So liposomal vitamin C, extremely powerful. Mm-hmm. Again, because everybody knows vitamin C, you take it when you've got a cold or the flu or something like that, right? So that just empowers your immune system. So why don't you empower your immune system all the time?
Now.
Now, before you have to. I ran into somebody the other day who said, they said, I've got vitamin C, I've got vitamin D at home, and man, if something comes my way, I'm going to start taking it. I said, no, take it now. Don't wait, because by the time you realize what's going on, it's too late. You know, it's almost like one of those things where you realize the enemy is at your gates. It's too late. It's too late to close the gate. They're there. So close the gate now, fortify your walls, and be ready for when the enemy comes.
Right.
That's what you need to be doing. Okay, it just makes sense with war, and it makes sense with your body when you're trying to look after yourself. All right, so that is liposomals. Now, digestive enzymes. The secret with digestive enzymes is not what to take it with, but when to take them. So digestive enzymes work to dissolve food. Maybe we'll do another demonstration with the pudding with Billy Weiss's digestive enzymes. Love Billy Weiss. He is who provides the OptiURX supplements that we have, the stuff in the black bottles. He basically created them himself because he couldn't find any good ones out there. So he has magnesium, digestive enzymes, probiotics, and a multivitamin, all of which are extremely stellar. I would recommend all of them all the time, anytime.
Yeah.
Now, by the way, so the digestive enzymes, the trick is to take it before you eat or with the first bite of food.
Yeah.
Because if you take it afterwards, what happens is your body already has acid in the stomach by the time you start eating. You put that digestive enzyme on top, and now you're going to get like acid reflux because it's sitting at the top, working on all that food, and it's going to work your way up your esophagus. So you want to have it at the bottom of your stomach. Wow, that was loud. Let's do that again. Bottom of your stomach, pile the food on top, and it will work its way up and digest the food. So that's what you want to be doing. Okay, so the benefits of digestive enzymes, let's just show you a few things here. It will reduce stress on your digestive system. Why? Because it's helping you break down the food. It's not relying on the digestive enzymes in your pancreas, right? So it will reduce inflammation in your gut, improve the digestion of the food, which will increase the assimilation, and you see all the other benefits there. I'm rushing through because we have a lot more to talk about. Okay, by the way, you'll see a lot of these graphics tonight I borrowed from my friend, Dr. David Jockers. So props to Dr. David Jockers. He has a lot of excellent information on his website. Go to drjockers.com and you'll see all kinds of wonderful things there. He is amazing at creating these infographics. I'm not sure who does them for him, but explains things really simply, and that's why we're showing you them tonight. All right, probiotics. This is some advice from our friend Dr. Tom Lewis, who does the blood tests for our Biologic Blueprint program, which again, you can talk to us about it at lairdwellness.com/blueprint, and you can find out more about that. This is how he looks at probiotics. He says probiotics are like seeding a garden. It's like taking a whole bunch of seeds and scattering them over the garden. So one strain of probiotic is not the idea. Putting a whole bunch of probiotics in your body is not the idea. Because when you just throw a whole bag of 20 pounds of seeds in one little garden, why? No, you don't want to do that. You want to take several different seeds to plant them in that garden because you don't know what kind of soil nutrients you have. You want to plant several different things to see what's going to grow. That's the idea of proper probiotic supplementation. A probiotic with a ton of different strains. And if you can't find one with a ton of different strains, or you can't afford them because they're kind of pricey, the ones that have lots of strains in them, do one bottle of probiotics for like a month, take a break for a month, go buy a different brand, take that for a month.
But make sure they're good brands.
Make sure they're good brands. Yeah, and we have some good brands on our website, and so does Dr. Lewis. But that's the idea, is to get as many different varieties as possible, because you really don't know what your soil is like. And your soil, i.e. your gut microbiome, is different from everybody else's. So you got to figure out what your microbiome likes. So you got to put a ton of different strains in there. And I tried one the other day, a probiotic with 100 different strains. Right. We have it. It's called Megaspore.
Ooh,
Megaspore.
that's a good one.
Yeah, and I finally had some regularity where I was having trouble with regularity for a little while. And I had regularity after I took this I took it for like 2 weeks. That's it. And not even every day. And I seeded the garden. And when I seeded the garden, all of a sudden the body started working better. And like I said, it didn't take long. I didn't even take the whole bottle. I took like 2. In fact, Dr. Lewis says, take 1 a week.
Right.
Right? And he has this whole little regimen that he can show you what he does.
Especially if you're healthy and you are regular,
Yeah.
you really don't need a lot of it a lot of the time.
Right.
It's if you're not healthy, then you should be kind of trying to seed it. And if you take antibiotics, if something goes on with your life and you have to take antibiotics, you need to reseed your gut after that.
Right, good point. Yeah, because if you take antibiotics, what does it do? It is getting rid of all the biotics in your body. It is getting all of it is basically decimating your microbiome. It's like taking
good and bad.
It's like taking Roundup to the garden. Everything dead. Yeah. And of course, when you do that with Roundup in a garden, what's the first thing to grow back? The weeds.
Right.
So in your gut, the first thing to grow back when you take an antibiotic are the bad bacteria. And if that goes on for too long, pretty soon the bad bacteria is now going to overtake the good bacteria, and now you got all kinds of problems. So like Jody said, when you take an antibiotic, at least this is what we do. If you take an antibiotic, 2-3 hours later after I take an antibiotic, if I have to, and I don't do it very often, it's been years and years and years since I did, but I would take a probiotic after that to give the good bacteria a leg up, because we know the bad bacteria is coming. So what you do is you seed it with good bacteria to sort of level the playing field before the bad guys overtake it. Okay, so that's what you want to do. One of my favorite supplements in the world is serapeptase. Serapeptase is magical. I love this stuff. I take it every day. It is a proteolytic enzyme. Proteo meaning proteolytic, it will get rid of protein. It breaks down proteins. It splits up the molecule. So this is extremely beneficial for breaking up blood clots, getting rid of inflammation. When our son broke his toe when he was little, we gave him serapeptase, a couple of capsules. Well, we had to mix it in juice for him because he was little, but every hour. Now you do it on an empty stomach, because if there's any protein in your stomach, like from food, it will go and digest that and will not go around your body looking for proteins to destroy, dead proteins. So we're talking about blood clots and inflammation and all this kind of stuff that doesn't belong in your body. It is like a heat-seeking missile that will go and find these things. It will get rid of all kinds of proteins, if you know what I mean. And I'm finding stuff online that it may even like the spiky kind of proteins.
Tell us what you learned about it with thyroid and scleroderma. What did you learn today?
Oh, well, it will actually, it reduces inflammation, increases your immunity. It gets rid of all kinds of stuff like. But you think about scleroderma. So scleroderma is basically the hardening of joints and all that kind of stuff, right?
Internal organs,
right.
Skin,
so
everything.
It will stop that. It will impede. It won't stop it. It'll impede that action. So serapeptase is just awesome. All right. So our final thing that we want to tell you about is a zinc ionophore. What is a zinc ionophore? Everybody knows.
Super important.
Yeah, super important. Pay attention. Okay. We might even go over time, but this is extremely important. So zinc is one of those things that's like a water-soluble vitamin. It has a hard time getting into the cells. Okay. Now, zinc is extremely important for all kinds of colds and flu and that kind of thing when you're feeling down. Everyone says, oh, take a zinc lozenge. Why do you think they have zinc lozenges? Zinc is great for this kind of stuff. It's good for just immune health.
Don't take it on an empty stomach.
No, it makes you sick on an empty stomach. I can't take zinc on an empty stomach. Anyway, so zinc kind of has a hard time getting into the cell. Now, if you are really being beat down by some kind of bacteria or something like that that's coming at you, a cold or a flu or something like that, you want to be taking lots of zinc. And zinc, in order to get into the cell, needs some help. And that help is in the form of what they call an ionophore. An ionophore, okay? So an ionophore is basically like, it's akin to the liposomal encapsulation of the vitamin C, and it basically gives you a free ride into the cell. So you get a lot more zinc in and a lot more, see what zinc does is it goes in and it stops the replication of viruses, for example, in a cell. So it will do that. It kind of basically says, oh, hang on, we're not going to do this, and just kind of it quells the fire. It's like a fire truck coming to the fire. So if you want to get lots of zinc into your cell, you need an ionophore. And here's the types of ionophores, okay? So on the left, you see zinc, and on the right, you see zinc that is paired with an ionophore. And the ionophores are in that arrow. QCT stands for quercetin.
Okie dokie.
Quercetin is very hot lately. It is a very popular supplement. It's actually kind of hard to get right now. But if you can find it, get it. Because if you combine that with quercetin with vitamin C, it will create a zinc ionophore. It's basically
C or zinc? Quercetin with C?
With C and zinc.
Oh, wow.
So you combine quercetin with vitamin C, and it will, I heard one doctor call it, so basically zinc is like a bullet, but you need a gun to fire into the cell. So if zinc is the bullet, the gun is a combination of quercetin and vitamin C.
Got it.
You put that together, it creates the gun, pushes it into the cell. Another thing is EGCG, and you're thinking, gee, I've heard that somewhere. Where is that from? Green tea extract. Green tea extract will do the same thing. It will fire more zinc into your cells.
Oh.
And the third one at the bottom there is a word, I mean, I'm just going to have to say it, but it is what it is. QC stands for...
CQ?
Or CQ, pardon me, stands for chloroquine.
Ah.
Chloroquine.
Wow.
So
okay, you've heard
that's
that
why
before.
at the beginning of this whole thing, there's a drug out there called, it's used for many things, it's called hydroxychloroquine, and it is used with zinc to push it deeper into the cell. And as you remember at the beginning of this whole thing, a year and a half ago or so, that was being suggested.
Right.
And that's why they used it, is to push zinc into the cell.
Hmm.
Yeah, because it wasn't that was so powerful, it was the zinc that was so powerful.
Wow.
That was the secret. Okay, so that basically, dare we say more? see, this is why I want you to go to Rumble, okay? All right, so anyway, so that is our show for tonight. Thank you very much for watching. More tonight from ShabbatNightLive.com. So go to ShabbatNightLive.com. We're talking more with Dr. Douglas Hamp. I forgot his name for a second. And he's talking all about Satan, the ancient enemy. Yeah, and we're talking all about the sign of Satan. See, Satan's been around since the beginning of time, but he's been known by different names and different symbols. But you know what's funny? Across all of the different ancient civilizations, all of these symbols have commonalities.
Yeah,
and all the names tie together. All of the like gods and demons and everything they worshipped and Moloch and all these things across the ages all have ties to Satan. It's all one guy.
It's all the same, just keeps
It is, yep. And so this is what's being talked about tonight. So without further ado, please go to ShabbatNightLive.com. Thank you for watching us tonight. And remember, go to LairdWellness.com/rumble. Let us know if you want to hear more of these topics with a little bit more freedom in our voice. And we will talk to you soon. Thanks again. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.